best word is intense. That's how you would describe one of the closest title chases in NASCAR history, the battle for the 1996 championship of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. But sometimes you just gotta cut loose. Last year here at Flemington, New Jersey, it was a smash ending. What will happen this year? Who will dance at day's end? We'll find out next. As a horse track in the 1850s. Race cars arrived in 1915, but whether it's four-legged horsepower or motorized racing engines, one thing's for sure, this is one unique racetrack. Welcome everybody to the Flemington Speedway. We're live on TNN Motorsports for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And today's big accomplishment for these drivers is turn a square racetrack into a circular racetrack, and that accomplishment is not easily done, Buddy Baker.
It's really not, Eli. One thing you do here, you never get completely out of throttle. You balance the truck by backing off just a little bit to tighten the truck up. Then you accelerate off the corners here, make a real bowl out of this racetrack, although it looks square from the air.
It really does. Of course, the big story this entire week in the series has been the fact that the man who leads the Rookie of the Year battle, Brian Refner, had his number 44 truck, team owner and crew chief all suspended for the next 5 races because last week at Indianapolis, a non-approved electronic traction control device was found on board their truck. Now, what exactly is a traction control device? What's its intended use? We asked that question of the series technical director, Chuck Romeo.
Basically, from what we understand about the unit that we got, traction control device is an aid to the driver to take some of the control away from the driver and enhance it electronically. Keep the rear wheels from spinning on this particular unit. It applies a little bit of rear brake when the wheels start to spin.
And with that explanation from Chuck Romeo, Randy Pemberton, it doesn't seem as though all of the hubbub of this week has bothered Refner and the team all that much. They're on the pole.
You wouldn't think so, Eli. On the pole at 19.246 seconds. He's in the Ford number 28 this week. Brian, evidently the pressures of what happened last week haven't affected you here.
Well, that's for sure, and we needed this pole, and we need to have a great race today and stay out of trouble. And it's a new track for me. I've never seen it before, so I'm really proud of this team to bring me here and put this truck on the pole.
Okay, good luck this afternoon. Brian Refner, amazingly, never saw this truck or this track here in New Jersey before. Sticks it on the pole. He'll be one to watch here this afternoon. Eli.
It is his second Busch pole of the season, the first coming back at Tucson, Arizona. A sold-out crowd of 15,000 here in the Garden State of New Jersey. The Stevens Beal 200 is next. Fairgrounds, Flemington, New Jersey. Let's take a look at the 30-truck starting field for today's Stevens Beal Genuine Car Parts 200. Second pole of the year for Brian Refner. Jimmy Hensley wants his first win of the season for Dodge. Mike Skinner and Rich Bickle. Bickle and Richard Petty's Dodge. Mike Bliss. He's got 2 wins this year for Ford. Joe Ruttman still winless. Row number 4, Bob Keselowski and Jack Sprague, who's in the battle for the point championship. Ron Hornaday is atop the heap, and good to see the Skull Bandit Harry Gant with us here in New Jersey today. John Nemechek and Randy Renfro, who returns after a few weeks away. Row number 7 here today, youngster Nathan Butke and Mark Gibson from Daytona Beach, Florida. Row number 8 of the starting grid, Dave Rezendes. He's the top Ford man in points, and T.J. Clark in his Chevrolet. Row number 9, Bill Sedgwick, who drives for Darrell Waltrip, and Butch Miller. He's tough on the short tracks. Rick Corelli, a winner at Bristol, Tennessee earlier this year, and local track favorite John Blewett III. Bob Brevac and Lance Norrick, his second race in a Ford truck. Row number 12, Charlie Cragen, and the debut in the series for Lebanon, Pennsylvania's Bobby Gerhardt. Row number 13, veteran Walker Evans and Gary Lloyd, up from the late model stocks of Orange County Speedway. Doug George, he's in a backup truck he wrecked earlier today. Michael Dockin taking over the 26. His truck still in disrepair. Kenny Allen and Lonnie Cox rounding out the 30 truck starting field here at Flemington Speedway in New Jersey. 200 laps today around a racetrack that measures 5/8 of a mile. That means 125 miles of racing here today. And again, this is a square racetrack. But, Buddy Baker, once you get going here and you set your arms, if you can run it as a perfect circle, you rarely have to even move on the steering wheel.
They say you really don't have to turn the steering wheel but about an inch. Once you get it going in the big circle here, you really regulate the way the truck gets around here with the throttle itself.
Taking a look at the 4 trucks who will be carrying onboard cameras for us here today. The Team ASE Racing Ford. That is Mike Bliss. Lance Norrick will also be carrying cameras today. All of these trucks will have a 360 camera, a roof cam, and one like that shot that looks out the rear. There's Lance Norrick in the Mecklenburg Duncan Ford. That was equipment that began this year being run by Ron Barfield before Bill Elliott decided that the team wouldn't continue in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Brian Reffner, the 1-800-COLLECT Ford, that's the number 28 truck, again because of the rules infractions of a weekend ago at Raceway Park in Indianapolis. And the 4th truck that'll be carrying our cameras today, the Ray Bestis Ford. That is Butch Miller of Coopersville, Michigan, going from the 18th starting spot. The field getting the 1 to go signal. As far as the points are concerned, Ron Hornaday currently 24 points up on Mike Skinner. Jack Sprague 52 points further back. There's Doug George in the backup truck. They haven't even made a lap here today, and that's why NASCAR is allowing him to take 1 full speed lap. I mean, they haven't even had time to put the decals on that truck in full order, buddy.
Eli, they really hadn't. This is a great chance to kind of shake it down. You see a little oil dry as they started in the corner there, but this truck absolutely had not a thing on it just about an hour ago. And right now they put the setup that they had before they crashed their primary truck earlier today.
You'll also notice, if you're not familiar, see those pieces of styrofoam, those styrofoam blocks that line the turns here at the Flemington Speedway. There they are, and that is, as you'd expect, yet an additional way to save the racing vehicle. The modifieds that normally run here, or today the trucks, those will add us an extra buffer, if you will, before you hit the retaining wall. Getting set to go green atop the flag stand, Chris Morgan from Santa Barbara, California. He is the chief starter for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Glad you're with us here in Flemington, New Jersey, and we're going racing 200 laps. They scramble middle of the pack. Hornaday was way sideways but saved it. And Hensley challenges in the 30 truck. Reffner's going to hold off the challenge.
See Mike Skinner there in the 3 truck moving into 2nd place right on the back tailgate there of Reffner.
Again, this is a square track, but you can see they are rounding the corners and even rounding the straightaway. Straightaways are 900 feet long on the front and 845 feet long on the back, but the trucks never really do straighten out at all.
You can see them taking a wide line through the center part of the corner, cutting right back to the bottom and then back out towards the wall as they hit the straightaway. The big part that you have to really watch is somebody sticking their nose under you coming off the corner like that just there.
Reffner the leader. Here comes Skinner. Skinner in the 3. And he's got the pass, and Hensley in the 30 will try and come through as well.
You see Hensley on the bottom there, Eli. What he has the preferred line. The bottom part of this racetrack is much quicker. You can see Reffner cannot do anything but go back to 3rd spot.
So lap number 4, give Mike Skinner the lead here in the Stevens Beal 200.
The 43 you see there, that's Rich Bickle. Both the Dodges that are right up front there, to me, look like they're handling quite well today.
If you can get dialed in here, it can be awfully tough. Joe Ruttman back at 5th spot. There you see the 80 truck. He snuck a look to the inside of Rich Bickle in the 43. There they are battling. Back off turn number 4 now as they head in front of the main grandstand. Randy Pemberton's on pit road.
Well, you talk about being dialed in, Eli. The temperature is significantly hotter than it was when they got their one and only practice session here this morning and this afternoon. The problem that these teams have wrestled with is air pressure on the Goodyear Eagle radial. Recommended tire pressure, 25 pounds on the right side, 15 on the left. But the temperature has gone up. You see a lot of these guys are messing with the air pressure, trying to get this truck to handle as they drop the green flag here this afternoon. But there will be a lot of changes made at halftime.
That's 4th and 5th place. We're watching still Bickle in the 43, Rudman in the 80. Back to start finish, another lap going up on the board. They're working 8 laps now of 200.
See Jimmy Hensley running just about a half a truck length lower than the leader is right now, Mike Skinner. If he can go, we have trouble.
Bobby Gerhardt in turn 1 from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, spins his truck. Leaders just do sneak by to his outside, and we are under caution at lap number 9. Bobby Gerhardt, that is a truck that he has built himself in their shop in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. You may know the name of Gerhardt, an occasional Winston Cup and ARCA campaigner. And I said, is this brand new, this truck? He said, Eli, it is so brand new, it has been driven about 10 feet. He said, we drove it out of the garage onto the transporter before we brought it to the racetrack. Field now getting the 1 to go signal as we get set for the restart after that quick spin by Bobby Gerhardt. Interesting, buddy. Every accident we've been seeing here today in practice and all at this end of the speedway, turns 1 and 2 for whatever reason.
It's so easy to get out of shape here because you're in a constant turn all the time, and somebody just barely touches you and around it goes.
We are in Flemington, New Jersey. Very near the site back in 1776 that George Washington led his troops across the Delaware in that surprise attack on the Hessian garrison. Of course, the folks now talk about it as being a great racing venue, but historians will say we're not far from Trenton, where the first major victory of the Revolutionary War took place. And we could see a war of sorts, revolutionary or otherwise, before this day is over, I bet you. Green is in the air, going back to work now. Skinner with the good start.
See Brian Refner there in 3rd. He had a terrible restart there. Rich Bickle and them really chomped right down on him. He just like he missed the gear a little bit, but he's back underway now and running quite well.
There is Refner in the 28 again. We just show him a bit more occasionally than normal because of the number change after the 44 truck was caught up in the problems of a weekend ago at Indianapolis that we've documented. There's Jimmy Hensley. A lot of folks are saying this could be a Dodge day, whether it's Hensley, whether it's Rich Bickle, potentially Keselowski, but more so Hensley and Bickle.
Well, Eli, I've heard a lot of comments about the Dodge truck not having quite as much horsepower, and this is not a horsepower racetrack. It's a handling track.
Again, watching 4th and 5th there. Bickle and Joe Rudman. They're running 1 3/4 seconds behind the lead truck of Mike Skinner. Hensley 2nd, Refner 3rd, Bickle 4th, Rudman is 5th. There's Sprague in the Quaker Straight truck. He's running in 6th. 7th is Mike Bliss. You've got Hornaday running in the 8th spot. Keselowski is now 9th. Nathan Butke moving up to the 10th spot. 11th will be Renfro. Harry Gant is 12th. Resendiz running 13th. 14th and 15th are now Gibson and John Nemechek as we all watch that ongoing battle for 4th and 5th. Up front, still Skinner. He took the lead in his truck at lap number 4. Has not been headed since as we are live at one of America's famed racetracks, Flemington. Jimmy Hensley in the 30 truck right behind him in 2nd. We are live at Flemington, New Jersey here on TNN Motorsports. Moments ago, Skinner found himself somewhat sideways in traffic, buddy.
See him turning under right there. Watch him when he gets on the throttle. The back end of the truck just hangs out there. He's very lucky to catch it back. That was a chance for Hensley to take a look. I think Hensley right now is being held up just a little bit. I think he may have the fastest truck out there.
Same thing happened when Joe Ruttman finally got around Rich Bickle after that long battle. Ruttman now managing to pull away, and that's what we're seeing here as the leaders work up on traffic. Lonnie Cox in the 36 truck. Doug George just ahead of him. And for keeping tabs with us at home, Michael Dockin has parked the truck he started here this afternoon as the first retiree. And there you see Sprague in the 24 challenging Bickle for 5th.
You see Bickle just roll out of the throttle. Here comes Mike Bliss in the 2 right by. Hornaday's looking under. He lost about 4 positions, just getting a little bit wide there.
And still can't get in line because Bickle is bypassed by Butke. He's bypassed by Renfro. And now problems on the main straightaway. Bob Brevac came off the corner, took out a big old chunk of that styrofoam that we were telling you about earlier. Styrofoam not new to this racetrack. It was here last year, but for some of you who may not have followed the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series a season ago, that is a sight that you might not be used to seeing. And there's Bob Brevac's truck. But imagine the damage if that had gone directly into the wall and not been buffered at all by the styrofoam.
Well, that definitely takes a lot of the impact, Eli, and you can see the right rear corner of that truck is mashed in, but it could have been much worse. That steel wall would have really ripped the back of that truck out.
So Bob Brevac takes a piece of styrofoam with him towards the pit area. Lap 28, the second caution. Mike Skinner continues to lead. Mike Skinner, the leading truck in the Stevens Beal 200. Caution for the second time. Let's see what happened to Bob Brevac's truck as we ride with Lance Norrick behind him. That's what happened. That's what happened. The Norrick-Brevac tango. Pit stops for John Nemechek, for Doug George. Pit stops for Bobby Gerhardt, all under the caution. And there you see Brevac getting set to go back to racing in just about another lap. Want to say hello to Kim Shaver, who is watching our telecast today in the hospital in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Kim is the series director for the NASCAR Goodies Dash Series. And Kim, all the NASCAR family on hand here in Flemington want to wish you the speediest of recoveries. Look forward to seeing you back out at the racetrack soon. Another look at that wreck for Bob Brevac from Old Speedy Cam. That's what happened. That's what happened. The Norrick-Brevac tango. And there you see exactly what transpired there. But the damage, you know, relatively light.
That's not snow you see under there. That's a big piece of that styrofoam.
Looks like those little packing beads that they always put in packages that drive you crazy.
I was just fixing to say, if that had been on the metal part of the wall, it would have probably knocked the rear end housing over and everything else. He's able to go on a little cosmetic damage. He's ready to race again. So it did help. It did its job.
Now Brevac is still on the lead lap. He did not lose a lap. He's running in 22nd spot. Green flag. No chance for Lonnie Cox to get his lap back. As Skinner leads, Hensley is second. Took Refner a while there in the 28 to get around Cox. Joe Ruttman in the 80 and Sprague in the 24. Looks as though there's some water coming out from behind the Gary Lloyd truck, the 01 machine. We'll take a closer look at him as he comes by us as well. Meanwhile, closer to the front, 16 and 2, Bliss in 6th, Hornaday in 7th. We ride with Mike Bliss.
You see a Hornaday there in the NAPA truck just behind Mike Bliss here. Every straightaway, he takes a look to the inside just to where he don't get used to looking in the mirror and not thinking he might make a move the next straightaway.
There's that battle we watch. 6th and 7th position. Tell you, track position and clear track on a facility such as this so hugely important for Mike Skinner, the race leader. Hornaday, he won this race a year ago by passing Rick Corelli on what was technically the bonus lap in this series when you have to have a green, white, and checker finish. Last year's 150-lap race went 151 laps. And though Corelli was strong on the racetrack, Hornaday beat him on that final restart and got the win.
Here comes Hornaday. You see him looking on the inside, could not get in position. This is a fast truck, though. You can see him moving right up on Bliss every time he come out of the corner.
Back again to the third place battle now. For a moment, you saw Refner and Ruttman. They're just ahead of this pack of trucks. There they are. Joe says I'm entitled to half a track, and I'm taking my half out of the middle.
Joe Ruttman is great on a flat racetrack. He is very good on a road course, and getting in these corners is very similar to getting into a road course corner.
When Joe came here last year, everybody was telling him how unique Flemington is, and he said, balonies, and I've driven 225 racetracks in my life, different tracks. He goes, there's nothing out there I haven't seen. He said it took me about 10 laps to retract that statement. Bliss is still trying in 6th. Sprague just ahead of him in 5th. Lap number 39 of 200 complete. Glad you're tuned in. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Randy Pemberton, the entire crew on hand here at the Flemington Speedway in New Jersey. 6th place is where Bliss is. 5th, you see Sprague, the 24.
And just in front of these 3 trucks is your pole setter. He's moving back in the pack a little bit. He may be getting off on his handling just a little bit. You have a loose condition here, you really have a problem.
Again, short straightaway, but you never do really straighten out your truck. Meanwhile, Skinner, the leader, he's working traffic. There he is, the number 3, to the inside of Charlie Cragen, the Pennsylvania driver, running for rookie honors, though he's an occasional campaigner. Doug George to the inside. Remember Jimmy Hensley in the 30 right there. He's in 2nd place. Lonnie Cox, the 36, and Skinner had to think which way to go.
Eli, he needs to stick right with Skinner. I used to love to run 2nd in heavy traffic like this, because once they see the leader, the flagman's working for him to move traffic away. If you're running in 2nd, you can catch him somewhere along through there and get him tied up in traffic and get by him.
Here's Joe Ruttman now. He is closed in. That white truck, number 80, the unsponsored entry at a Jack Roush's stable. He's caught up with the front duo.
He made some interesting comments last week. He said his everything about his truck driving from here on out depends on how he runs the rest of this year. So he's not only trying to win this race, he's trying to keep that ride.
Of course, Joe started on the pole and finished 7th here last year. Said to us last week in Indianapolis that he's hoping to get a new truck in time for the race later this season at Richmond. Those are your front 3. They've caught T.J. Clark. Hensley's just waiting to pounce if he can. They swing through the corner. Lead still held by Skinner. Mike took over the top spot on lap number 4. He's not been headed yet. Potatoes. Well, the North Carolina sweet potato truck has smashed its load. Here's what happened to Randy Renfro, buddy.
Don't make me laugh. This is serious. You see him get in there, and boy, I tell you what, he tore up the truck pretty bad. But had that, we said this a while ago, you could tell he got in there with the right rear corner pretty hard. Watch it when it hits the styrofoam.
And he spins through.
Eli, that's minimal damage, so at 100 miles an hour when you hit the wall. That really helped take a lot of the wreck there. That styrofoam did.
So our third caution of the afternoon coming out on lap number 50 as we are under yellow now here at the Stevens Beal Genuine Car Parts 200. Earlier today, Randy Pemberton had a chance to chat with the man who sponsors this event, well known up here in Flemington. Let's go to Randy and Stevens Beal.
Stephen, your second year of sponsoring this event here in Flemington, New Jersey. I know you must be pleased with, obviously, the turnout, but the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as well.
Oh, we're having a good time here. Our customers are having a good time. The dealers we sell, the car dealers, the jobbers that we have. We're looking to have a great time.
Did you order this weather personally? It's absolutely beautiful here today.
I was afraid about the weather. I was here yesterday, and I thought we were going to have a problem. But it looks great today.
Okay, congratulations on your involvement.
Thank you.
Stevens Beal and the Genuine Car Parts 200. Cleaning up from the accident involving Randy Renfro, Mike Skinner continues as the leader, though Joe Ruttman hounding away, and I'm sure he'll pick up the challenge as soon as we come back. The Flemington Speedway in New Jersey. Don't forget NASCAR Thunder, the NASCAR store for fans, now open at the Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, and opening soon in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and in Knoxville, Tennessee. NASCAR Thunder, if you want it, they've got it at NASCAR Thunder. Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful day here in Flemington, New Jersey. Getting set to go back to green, Mike Skinner. Ahead of Joe Ruttman, Jimmy Hensley, Brian Ruffner will be next in line, Jack Sprague, then Bliss in sixth. Hornaday still mired back in seventh on the restart. Nathan Butke is eighth, Dave Rezendes is ninth, and Rich Bickle 10th.
A great start there by Mike Skinner. You could see he's about 8 or 9 truck lengths ahead of everybody going down the back straightaway there. Joe Ruttman was just a little bit slower getting off the jump there.
As they work through the corner, we mentioned Ron Hornaday mired back in seventh, Randy. They haven't picked up that many spots yet.
Just 2 spots. We're going to talk with crew chief Doug Williams. Doug, you've only gotten 2 spots here, and we're 57 laps in. Any problems with the truck?
Not really, Randy. We're just biding our time right now with the Napa United Way Chevrolet truck. And, you know, we just know track position is real important here, and it's hard to get it because it's only a one-group racetrack. So Ron's doing a real good job being patient and taking his time.
I know you've talked to him a few times. You're already talking about chassis adjustments at halftime. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we've discussed that quite a bit right now. Like, we're just going to change a little bit of air pressure and see what that does for him.
Okay, they'll be flinging wrenches down here at halftime. You can be sure of that.
Well, their man was flinging that truck around, and now he's opened it up for the 7 Rezendes and the 43 Bickle to try and get by Butke.
Well, Nathan Butke actually got by Hornaday, and Hornaday put a little chrome horn to him there, got his attention, moved back by him on the inside, and it cost him a couple of spots. But Nathan Butke's doing a great job in the 75 truck.
Right, he took over a few weeks ago at Odessa, Missouri, replacing Bobby Gill. Ran there, ran in Indianapolis, now here today in New Jersey. He's doing a heck of a job in the 75. There's Butke. We gave you the top 10 before. Harry Gant is running 11th. Corelli is 12th. Mark Gibson is 13th. John Blewett is 14th. Bob Keselowski back in 15th. Butch Miller is 16th. Walker Evans is 17th. 18th is T.J. Clark. Lance Norrick is 19th. And Bill Sedgwick running in the 20th spot. There's Harry Gant and Corelli battling for 11th now.
Corelli's moving right up. He finished second here last year at Eli, and you can see his truck's working really good, and he's keeping a low line where people can't make a move on the inside of him.
There's the full field summary coming your way at the top left of the screen. This update brought to you by the original Vent Visor, the most practical accessory for your truck. Skinner took over the lead at lap number 4. He's been challenged, but no one's gotten by him. There's Harry Gant, has the Mannheim sponsorship on his truck. The normal primary sponsor will be back in a couple of weeks. Westview Capital, as you see, Bliss and Sprague. That's the battle for 5th position, and give it to Mike Bliss.
Great job by Mike Bliss. He's never raced here before and doing a great job.
Wouldn't mind seeing Mike Bliss win again. Watch him come up with some new dance steps like he showed us at Odessa a few weeks ago.
What was that dance? A worm or what?
I have
don't
no
really
idea.
know. It's a new one, I think.
I have no idea. But far be it from me to comment on anybody's dancing. I promise you that. Good scramble now. That's Hornaday in the 16. Sprague losing the spot. Gary Lloyd goes to the garage area. He is going to be done. A very major overheating problem on his truck. So Gary Lloyd joins Michael Dockin as the only 2 retirees thus far today.
The 7 truck there, Dave Verzentes, is doing a great job today also. You see him looking on the inside trying to make a move on Jack Sprague in the 24, but can't quite get it done yet.
Dave is in 8th. Sprague obviously in 7th there in the 24. Richie Bickle right behind him. Good view from above this Flemington Speedway, and now down trackside. Very limited banking. Just 6 degrees in turns 1 and 2. 8 degrees at the other end of the racetrack. Is just tough at this racetrack.
Well, it is. You really have to watch yourself getting in the corners, because if you cut somebody off a little bit and they touch you on that left rear corner, you just go right into the wall. So you really have to, it's more of a defensive type driving than anywhere I've been this whole year. These guys really have to watch themselves.
We're at lap 70 of 200, 30 laps shy of halfway, and of course there will be that 5-minute break at the halfway point for whatever adjustments the teams need to make on their trucks.
See Rick Corelli there moving in just behind the 43 of Rich Bickle. He's moving right on up there. This truck's really working well.
And look at things tightening up front. The leaders have caught Bob Brevak's truck. Skinner, he's in the 3. That's Ruttman and Hensley right behind him now.
Eli Ruttman a while ago to take 2nd spot made the move on the outside, so he can pass on the outside groove here. So if he catches Skinner's truck, I think he's going to try to make an unusual move, trying to make that pass on the outside.
Joe Ruttman. Randy, is this a frustrating racetrack for the crew chiefs to try and figure out?
I have figured that out from being down here and talking to a bunch of these guys on pit road. I've gone up and down and polled a lot of the crew chiefs. I said, what's your driver saying about your truck? He's not saying anything, which leads me to the conclusion that this track is so tough to drive that they really can't get their finger on the button for very long to carry on an intelligent conversation to tell these guys what to do to their truck. I polled a lot of them, and they don't know. They're waiting for a caution close to the halfway mark so they can figure out what to do.
Randy, that's a good observation. I tell you what, when you're so busy you can't use your thumb, you're busy.
I hear you. Well, Skinner is right in behind Lance Norrick. We're riding with him, and finally he'll try him to the outside in turn 3. Sedgwick about to go a lap down in the Die-Hard truck. Bill was hoping for a run today of pride. He's in 19th spot, going a lap down. Working near the halfway point. 76 laps are complete. The first 3 laps were led by the pole sitter Brian Reffner. Ever since then, though, it's been Mike Skinner showing the way at Flemington. Flemington, a good one. Skinner has it in the 3. Ruttman in the 8. He wants it. Not that time.
Here comes Ruttman on the inside, though. It looks like it's going to be a pass for the lead. You see Ruttman now moving right on out.
Lap number 85, new leader, Joe Ruttman. Joe Ruttman at lap number 85 shows the way atop the leaderboard now. It's been a long time for Joe Ruttman. Been a frustrating kind of year. But remember, he had the pole here at Flemington a year ago.
Eli, he led some at Bristol this year and then had a flat tire and had to come back in the pits just as the green flag was coming out. He may have won that race because he was much quicker than everybody else, but he just had misfortune. I think today he's got it all going for him right now, but you know, halftime can change it all.
Sure could. That's the battle we're riding with now for 4th and 5th spot. Bliss, with whom we're riding, and Hornaday right behind him. Around Sedgwick, who went a lap down a while ago, now riding with Lance Norrick. Joe Ruttman, the leader, came home 22nd at Indy, 20th at Odessa. This could be a heck of a shot in the arm for that racing team, as Bliss now pulls away by about a truck length and a half, maybe not even that much from Hornaday. Joe Ruttman has led only one other time this year. He led for 36 laps earlier in the season. But other than that, this has been the highlight of Joe Ruttman's season. There's Joe in the 80. T.J. Clark going a lap down, just ahead of him in 17th spot.
Boy, that truck's going anywhere Joe Ruttman wants it to go. You can watch him. He passes one truck on the inside, one truck on the outside. It does not matter. He's really got this thing dialed in well.
Unscheduled pit stop for Bob Keselowski at lap number 89 puts him a lap in arrears. We're 10 laps shy of halfway.
See Jimmy Hensley there in the 30 truck moving in on Skinner now. Skinner may be going away on his handling just a little bit, because it looks to me right now that the Dodge is moving in on him without any problems whatsoever.
Not just something to file away for this portion.
Whoa, contact.
You got it. Here goes Miller, or at least Walker Evans, into the wall as well.
T.J. Clark in the this Dayglow in blue was very lucky. He went right through the middle of that wreck. No contact on his part.
And caution on the speedway for the 4th time. There's Walker Evans. He has that styrofoam, I guess, impaled in the front end of that Dodge truck of his.
A lot of damage to that truck also. You can see the front of that truck is mashed right down on the racetrack.
So the leader, Joe Ruttman, at the caution, the 4th of the afternoon. Now we'll take another look at exactly what happened. That was for second spot the battle was. Let's go back and look.
Well, Jimmy Hensley in the 30 Dodge, you can see him right under Skinner. They go down the straightaway. Skinner turns back in to protect his line. The 30 truck makes contact going in the corner, and that sets them both going, and it will chain reaction from there.
And there goes Walker Evans to the outside with T.J. Clark in the 23. We'll take another look and see again between Skinner and Hensley.
You see Hensley's up there, but not quite enough. He wasn't quite where Skinner could see that he was down under him there, and they made contact. Both these drivers are very clean race car drivers. It was just a racing incident.
That's a good point. That's one thing you got to say about those two fellas. Good, hard, but clean racers, and yeah, they'll chalk that one up to just racing. But Walker Evans' truck has a good bit of damage to it. We'll get an update from down there shortly as we continue under caution. Closing in on halfway. 6 o'clock this evening, right after this race. Let's take another look at this incident, buddy, and see how quickly things tighten up in the corner.
Well, you can see Skinner there on the outside. Hensley gets all the way up to the middle part of the quarter panel on that truck, and boom. Look at T.J. Clark, how close he come to hitting Skinner.
And that styrofoam goes flying. But caution now wrapping up after the cleanup is complete. Mike Simons driving the Pace truck, about to pull into the pit lane. And again, coming to the halfway point, we're 5 laps away from that Gatorade Front Runner Award. $1,000 going to the race leader at lap number 100. Then the intermission at lap number 101. Joe Ruttman gets the good quick jump.
He got a great jump, but Skinner's right on his tailgate as they go into turn 3 over there. You can see Skinner is back up to full song here. The tires are cooled down. I think he's got a very fast truck right at the very first, and then as he runs on, he gets a little bit loose.
3rd place, Bliss, got caught up behind traffic. Still hasn't even gotten clear of T.J. Clark. So these front 2 pulling away by themselves, heading to the halfway point. Around goes Ruttman. Around goes Ruttman into the styrofoam, and caution is on the speedway for an incident in turn number 3. Caution for the 5th time.
Eli, we can watch that 15 times. We know the 3 truck got into Ruttman there, getting in the corner, and it was just casual contact, but it did send him going.
So caution for the 5th time. Some damage now.
I mean some damage.
Yeah.
Look at the front of Ruttman's truck. It is beat in pretty bad.
We'll take a look again. Skinner's in the 3.
Ruttman comes down
He sure
right
does.
there. You can see Skinner's got nowhere to go. The wall's right there on the left-hand side, so he had nowhere to go. The only thing he could have done was lock the brakes up, and he'd probably got collected from behind if he had. Uh-oh. You hear the crowd there responding to that move.
Joe Ruttman's crew chief, Randy Goss, will have a lot of work to do now on that number 80 truck, as the field will be coming to the halfway point. Now, this will not be the money lap. The front runner award from Gatorade is not given out under caution. It will be given out after the 5th consecutive green flag lap of racing, but we will have the halftime break, if you will, for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So it's getting a little short, a little testy there from lap 91. That 3-truck spin. Now at lap 97, Skinner, who was involved in that first one, gets together this time with Joe Ruttman.
You can see the right front right there on the front bumper part of the truck there on the valence. It got a little damage there. Not much. It wasn't a hard hit or anything, just enough to send Ruttman, though, into the outside wall.
You've run for years, Buddy Baker, on these short tracks. How do you know how much you can lean on a guy, how much you can expect to get leaned back on? Is it just seat of the pants experience or what?
Well, you can hear the crowd right now responding to Skinner a little bit. They're booing just a little bit, but honestly, he was on the inside going in the corner, and he was right against the inside wall. There was nowhere for him to go, and they just made a little bit of contact, but on a flat track like this, right into the outside wall you go. And it's very aggravating because you do everything that you think's right, and if you make any contact, then you're the GOAT for a while.
Let's look and listen again, and you be the judge at home. Now Skinner was all the way hugging that inside guardrail, but we are at halftime. And it was, again, one of those racing situations there. Joe Ruttman, I'm sure we'll hear from him. We'll hear from Skinner. We'll hear from most all of the top runners as we have our halftime break. 100 laps complete, 100 to go. Mike Skinner, the leader in Flemington, New Jersey.
Joe Ruttman sitting here. You can see them working on his Jack Roush Ford. The radiator all crunched in. We'll try and get a word with him. Back of the truck, okay. But, Joe, what happened out there? Tough break.
Yeah, it was really a tough break because we're really looking for a sponsor, and this, you know, we have been running up to Roush Racing standards, and this is our first chance that we've got up and run with the boys, and we're just cruising along, and it just took me a little bit of time to get going. So, you know, it's kind of a shame because it got the radiator. You don't mind if it does sheet metal work, but if it gets the radiator, then we're really hooked bad. But we'll keep digging. If anyone can do it, the Roush boys can. And anyone that's out there, we're looking for someone to put on the quarter panel and help us out. And then we can put a new radiator in for sure.
Tough break, Joe Ruttman.
We'll be heading back and hear from Mike Skinner in just a moment. But right now, the Week in Racing, brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly, as we continue from Flemington, New Jersey. It's time now for the Auto Week in Racing. On the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series scene, the point chase really heating up after Indianapolis. Ron Hornaday with a lead, but now only 24 points over Mike Skinner. And on the Winston Cup side, Terry Labonte is now solidly on top of the points. A third-place finish at the Brickyard gave him a 61-point edge on second-place man Dale Earnhardt. Call 1-800-232-1522 now for a 52-week subscription to Auto Week at the special TV price of just $19.95, the lowest price ever. Every week, Auto Week is first with all the inside news of racing, personalities, driving impressions, everything. Call now for Auto Week, 1-800-232-1522. Don't delay. This offer is limited. Back to the garage, Randy Pemberton.
Well, Mike Skinner sitting here in Teresa Earnhardt's truck. Mike, what about it? Truck running really good. Richard Childress' truck, I should say. Richard's truck running very well today. We got in that little accident with Joe Rutman. What happened there?
I'll tell you, I really hate it for that deal. Joe had the truck to beat. I mean, he was the best on long runs. I was the best on cold tires. I could get away from him. And, you know, right there, I said, well, heck, I can lead the halfway deal anyway. And it was one of them situations where his spotter told him I was looking, but he didn't tell him I was there. And I was there, and it was either the guardrail or Joe. And I pinched it just as tight as I could get it. And unfortunately, we got into him. But he's got a good truck. Hopefully, he can get back up here.
Mike, your truck is good as well. What could you do to this thing to make it better?
Well, we're going to make a couple small adjustments, but we're after top 5 finishes. You know, we're not real hungry and eager to win this thing, although we'd love to win it. But it's a situation where we don't need to get any more of them deals, I can tell you that. We need to get out of here with a top 5 finish.
Yeah, Eli, could you imagine this guy not hungry or eager to win?
I hear you, and buddy, you called it. Did you see that full-face sock that everybody is wearing? The balaclava, as they call it. The New Jersey State Police are in charge of race procedure at all of the racetracks in the state of New Jersey, and they mandate that all of the drivers at all of the statewide tracks wear obviously Nomex, but the fire retardant underwear, the gloves, you must wear that full head safety paraphernalia. That is mandated, and it is checked at the exit of the garage area by the state police. They have a representative here making sure everyone abides by the rules. We get set to go back after the halftime break. Time for a mid-race update brought to you by Duraliner Bedliners. Duraliner, beating the leader is tough. And there you see the leaders and the changes. Brian Ruffner, Mike Skinner, Joe Rutman, the 3 leaders. 5 cautions with, at this point, only 2 trucks out of the event. Michael Dockin with handling problems and Gary Lloyd with overheating problems. And I'll tell you, Buddy Baker, you called it there, that incident out there. Skinner said either the guardrail or Joe.
Yeah, you know, it really is so tough to call from up here and say this happened, that happened, but you could see that Skinner was trying not to make contact. And these guys, you didn't hear any blame thrown around.
Right.
These guys are men about driving these trucks, and you never hear them jump out and gripe and bellyache about what happened. It was casual contact that put one of them into the wall.
It'll be 1 to go as the field comes past the start-finish line. There you see Joe Rutman's truck, and Randy Pemberton is right there looking on. How much work there, Randy, and on these other trucks? What have the teams done?
Well, you can see what they've had to do here to the Rutman truck. They've just fired it. They want to get it out to take this green flag for the second half, but I'll tell you what, if this guy finishes, it will be amazing. As far as Ron Hornaday, the points leader, air pressure adjustment only. They like what they have so far, so they're going to stick with it. The 24 truck, Jack Sprague, they did everything. They adjusted the trailing arms. They unhooked the rear sway bar. They worked on the shocks, also air pressure. Dave Resendez, he likes his. They didn't touch it. The 2 truck, Mike Bliss, they worked on the right front of that truck, and they changed a little air pressure. Other than that, they're okay as well. So Rutman getting ready to roll out here with all kinds of damage.
Now remember that these laps that have been running here are under caution at halfway and do not count in the overall count of the event. So Joe will be back in 14th position on the lead lap as we get set to go back to green in the Stevens Beal Genuine Car Parts 200. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Randy Pemberton, and the entire crew, including our director Gary Clem, who said, "I'll pay you if you call the track Flemington once in my honor."
You got paid.
It's done. We are at Flemington getting set to go, and we are glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports. Well, let's see what they've done now, buddy.
Just 5 laps from now, $1,000 bonus for the guy leading. You see Mike Skinner jump out in the lead there going into turn 1.
TJ Clark is the buffer truck now. Behind him, Bliss and Hornaday, who get stacked in behind him.
Here comes Hornaday making a move into 2nd place as they come around the corner. Hornaday has moved all the way up to 2nd now.
But still can't get around TJ Clark there in the 23 now finally. They'll work to his inside. Skinner got a tad loose on the restart, but nevertheless got that great jump. And he's coming now to the 3rd green flag lap towards the 5 that will pay off in that $1,000 bonus from Gatorade. There's Skinner. Watch him on the start again.
Okay, that's just going up through the gears there. He hadn't cleaned his tires probably enough yet, and it just spun a little bit of excess rubber off the tire there, and he's back underway.
Lap number 4 of the restarted portion of the event. So Skinner just 5/8 of a mile away from $1,000 and the front runner award.
See Mike Bliss there. He's running in 3rd spot right now. Never been to this racetrack before. Barry Dodson's done a great job on setup, and I think Mike Bliss may be the most, I mean, any track he goes to, he just adapts to it right away.
And of course, Bliss finished 3rd at IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park, last weekend. Moved him up to 5th in the series points. And remember, after the first 2 races of the year, that truck was 27th in points. So that's how well they've done since Homestead and Phoenix.
He's eating Hornaday alive going through this corner. Hornaday's truck got very, very loose on the lap just before this. So I think right now they're just waiting to see after they run 8 or 10 laps. It looks like right now Mike Bliss may have the truck to beat.
Good battle for 2nd spot.
All 4 of these trucks, Eli, are doing a great job. You see the 7 there, Resendiz, and right behind him, the pole setter, Ruffner, is doing very well himself.
But they're also 2 1/10 seconds behind the race leader, Mike Skinner. Just joining us, we had 5 caution flags through the first half of the event. There's Brian Ruffner, our pole sitter.
Trying to make the move on the outside of Resendiz. Boy, if you do that, you can pound on your chest, because that's a power. Look at this.
Great battle for 2nd spot again. Bliss has him coming off the number 2 corner. So Bliss grabs 2nd from Hornaday. And everybody who's chasing Skinner, all of those trucks battling for position, including Rick Corelli, the High Plains drifter, who was dominant after about 4 or 5 laps a year ago. It took him that long to get going, and once he got to about the 5th lap of a restart, he was tough.
He's running a different line around the racetrack than anyone else, too. He stays about a truck length lower down the front straightaway and all than everybody else, so he's really working well around the racetrack.
Caution, trouble, Nathan Butke. Nathan Butke in that same spot out of turn number 4. And the young man from Randleman, North Carolina, brings out our 6th caution at lap number 110. He was in 14th position at the time of the accident in that Spears manufacturing truck.
Well, that got the front and the back of Nathan Butke's truck. You can see the back's all rolled up, and the right front corner is completely missing.
You know, it's funny, we talked earlier how all of the problems were in the 1st and 2nd corner early today, and in the race, with the exception of Bobby Gerhardt's early spin, everything else been the other end of the racetrack. Let's see again, catch the tail end of the incident. He's already broken free there. It's like a snowstorm when you get into that styrofoam.
I would say that felt pretty good to have that cushion up there, though.
So the Spears truck with its problems, Mike Skinner continues to lead, but his 2-second advantage has now evaporated as we work the 6th caution of the afternoon. Here in Flemington, New Jersey, Nathan Butke's truck still on the pit lane. He'll go down a lap after the accident. And this time again, Skinner gets a good jump. But Bliss finally in the 2 truck works outside of Clark, brings Hornaday with him in the 16. So the guys in traffic got a cleaner start this time than on the last restart.
Boy, that's real important, because where the lap traffic is running right now, that's the exact groove you need to really get a good fast run around the racetrack.
There's Butke's truck on the extreme left of your screen. He has just returned from the pit and garage area. Some pretty good jockey in there. Butke lost 3 laps. He's in 19th position as we ride with our Busch pole sitter. Ruffner in 6th, going to the outside with Resendiz. Oh, and around goes Clark. T.J. Clark. No caution as we continue That was a scary ride. And you see the problems on TJ's truck. Now caution is coming out as he is dropping some pieces.
Well, he has a flat left front on the truck and is dragging the header pipes around. Now the caution comes out.
Right, it is coming out with those pieces of debris coming off the truck of TJ Clark. Lap number 119. We'll take a look at it again as he was working in the corner.
See Sedgwick on the inside. I know he's going to hit him on the left rear corner and turns him right around. Everybody was very lucky. You can see visibility was very minimal there.
So caution for the 7th time, and here comes TJ Clark into the attention of the crew. Obviously his Chevy truck, as Buddy said, down on the left front. Bobby Gerhardt brought out a caution at lap 9. Then Bob Brevac, then Randy Renfro. Then a series of multi-truck spins, followed by Nathan Butke's problem, and now the problems of TJ Clark under caution. Lap 119 of 200. Nathan Butke returning to the racetrack. Skinner is the leader. Mike Bliss is second. Ron Hornaday third. Dave Rezendes is fourth. Rich Bickle is fifth. Brian Refner is sixth. Rick Corelli seventh. Jack Sprague will go in eighth. Harry Gant restarts in ninth. Jimmy Hensley 10th. Joe Ruttman is 11th. Blewett is 12th and Butch Miller 13th. All of those trucks on the lead lap as we are back to green. Lap 121.
See Skinner just getting by Bill Sedgwick as second place Mike Bliss tries to make a move on the outside. Very tough to get around here as Hornaday moves along there in third spot.
Outside of Sedgwick they continue. Skinner, who had built up a 2 1/10 second advantage earlier, now being kept in sights by Mike Bliss. Good run, of course, Hornaday. Super run for Dave Rezendes in fourth, and Rich Bickle. Fine run in fifth spot right now. They say this was a lightning quick racetrack when it was dirt. It's only been paved 4 years. It only was 1992 when they finally paved the place.
I just can't imagine them running this racetrack when it was dirt. I guarantee the fans had to wear a mask instead of I can't imagine. I mean, even with the pavement here, you have a lot of buildup on the outside there of debris and all just out of the groove, so it had to be something to watch.
What I like here is the fact that the grandstands are named after the old-time racing greats here at the Flemington Speedway. All the grandstands have a name placard atop of them. Mike Skinner has been the racing great here today. Good scramble, middle of the pack now from 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Riding with Brian Refner in 6th. Corelli right behind him in 7th. There's Sprague in the 24. He's in 8th spot.
Wowee, something's got to give here. You can't run this close all the time. You see them coming right up on the tailgate of Ruffner coming up out of the corner just a second ago. You see the 24 truck there. They're all very, very tight in these corners. Just one little tap and around they will go.
Sprague in the 24. There comes Harry Gant. There's old Harry in the 33, his 4th race of the year on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Back to Randy in the pit area.
Well, it appears that Brian Refner seems to be struggling at the moment. They also made a ton of adjustments at halftime. They changed the right front shock. They added a rubber in the right front. They went down on the left side of the track bar, up on the right, and told him to go out there and hang on. It was evidently loose getting in, but it doesn't appear right now that they helped this situation any.
Eli, Harry Gant is flying up through here. You see him there in the 33 truck. He's just past Corelli and moving right on up. It's nice to see him rooting and gouging again.
Sure is. He finished 12th at Indianapolis Raceway Park last weekend. There he goes inside of Doug George's backup truck. Oh, Harry, he's got a bad case of poison oak, too. His arms were all eaten up with it this weekend. I said, what in the world's happened? He said, oh, I was out there fixing a fence by the house and putting it up and didn't realize I was all over poison oak. And he's just been scratching up a storm on his arms here this weekend. But it's, I guess like they always say, it's best medicine when they drop the green flag, huh?
Every time I talk to Harry Gant, he's going to fix something. I think he sleeps in a tool shed or something.
Harry right there in the 33 truck. Again, Mannheim sponsoring the truck for a few races before the Westview Capital folks get back on board in the Nashville race. They'll resume their normal sponsorship role. Up front, no change still as we watch this Gant battle back at 7th and 8th spot. Skinner continues to lead. He's led 120 laps thus far of the 132 that have been run. They're going to stay right there with Gant in the 7th spot, Corelli in 8th. Remember, 17 Sedgwick a lap down early.
Now you see how Harry really positions his truck. He never makes a move where it's going to be half.
Caution.
Oh, we have trouble off turn 4.
Trouble in turn number 4. Caution for Charlie Cragen. And Charlie really using up the back of that truck. And we are under caution. Comes out for the 8th time. Lap number 134. So Charlie Cragen. That identical spot again too, buddy.
Yeah, he made a, what is that, 1/8 of a ton now instead of a. That's not funny. I mean, anytime you back one into the wall like that, you're very lucky to be able to drive away. That's a lot of sheet metal damage, but you see the running gear is still good.
Bam. There goes the back of Roger and Raymond Scanlon's truck that Charlie Cragen drives. This is only his 6th race of the year on the circuit. Finished 15th last weekend at Indianapolis. The Scanlons up in Edensburg, Pennsylvania, owning the truck for Charlie Cragen, who brings out the caution at lap number 134.
Wow. You can see the filler neck on the gas tank there. I mean, that's a lot of sheet metal, but you notice the wheels and all are pointing straight ahead on the truck.
Those of you who follow the local track up here, Flemington, John Blue at the 3rd. He's running in 11th right now. He is the modified ace here at the Flemington Speedway. And here at the Flemington Speedway, lap 137. We've seen pit stops for Jimmy Hensley, Walker Evans, Mark Gibson, and the race lead still held by Skinner. We're just wrapping up the 8th caution because of this incident. Charlie Cragen in the 92 and Lance Norrick. Lance with the bump. And Charlie with the spin. Charlie was not pleased, by the way. Bam. There goes the back. I'll remember that kind of greeting right there.
Well, he didn't hurt a thing by doing it.
No, that side of the truck was well used up anyway. Back to live action. Mike Skinner still showing the way. We pick up Harry Gant again. He and Corelli 7th and 8th. The 33 and the 6th. Remember the 17 truck. Sedgwick a lap down. He's running in 13th position. 60 laps from the finish. A sold-out Flemington Speedway. 15,000. They've brought in temporary bleachers. They've put folks in the infield where normally they don't go. It's been so hugely received. This truck race has been here in New Jersey.
Got to keep it. I mean, look at tradition. The racetrack's in good shape. Great racing out here. There's a little bit of contact involved, but these guys, they do it every week. I mean, we followed them throughout the season, and there is a little bit of contact in this type of racing.
There's your differential from the 3 back to the 2. Skinner the leader. Mike Bliss, with whom we're riding, in 2nd spot. Working around the Bob Breback truck, you saw him smoking as the leaders went by, and Bob going to the garage area. Meanwhile, Resendiz and Rich Bickle, the 7 and the 43, closing in on Hornaday there, the 16 just ahead of them. That'll be 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
We're really going to find out who has a good chassis right now. We hadn't had a green flag run that lasted long enough to see who really had a good setup on their truck. So from here on out, we'll be able to see Bickle there looking on the inside. He's trying to make a move on Resendiz. I think he may have a little bit better handling truck right at the moment.
Resendiz from Masonic, Massachusetts. He's been up in that area the better part of this week. Meanwhile, a few moments ago, as we watched this battle, we saw Jimmy Hensley make a pit stop, Randy, and they were working on the chassis, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Talking about who has a good chassis. Well, they're still pitting. They can't change tires when they pit under caution. They took a little bite or wedge out of Jimmy Hensley's truck, Butch Miller. They came down pit road. They put a little wedge in. Brian Refner was in. They went ahead and took that rubber out of the right front for Brian Refner.
Oh, busy on pit lane. Many of these crew chiefs are. You can change a tire only with the approval of the NASCAR official, who will look at the tire on the truck, as you see Bickle and Resendiz going there, and that's the change for 4th spot.
Now there's a way to pass on a flat track. That was a perfect textbook pass there by Rich Bickle. He waited his time. He waited for Resendiz to make a mistake. He moved right under him.
Meanwhile, up front, Mike Bliss has caught Mike Skinner. They'll have to deal with traffic, obviously. That's always a problem on a short track. They'll close in on Lonnie Cox's truck first as we're working lap 148, 52 laps from the finish. This is going to get good here.
Oh, yeah. I think all the trucks right up front right now are very, very even. I think on the restarts, Skinner got a pretty good break on the restart, got a jump, but you see Mike Bliss moving right in on his tailgate.
Skinner went a little wide. Again, having to deal with lap trucks now. Renfro 50 laps down. They go around Randy's truck. Randy mentioned Jimmy Hensley with that pit stop. Jimmy on the lead lap, but he's back in 10th right now after starting outside of the front row.
Eli, the toughest thing right now to do for Bliss is not to spin the tires. He's catching Skinner pretty quick on every lap, and the main thing he has to do is conserve his tires, not break the rear wheels loose and get them extra hot, and then he'd lose the advantage he has right at the moment.
Mike Bliss won in Monroe, Washington. He won here on TNN back on the 27th of July in Odessa, Missouri. He was the fellow who did all those dance steps on top of the truck. I'm just sitting here wondering what he's going to pull out of the hat if he wins again today.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll watch, because that's fun to see somebody really enjoy a victory like these guys do. And, you know, for Mike Bliss, it's all new for him. He's open wheel star, but now he's proven his worth with the trucks, and I think you'll see him move right into Winston Cup in a couple of years.
The leader goes around Mark Gibson's truck. Skinner took the lead at lap 4 after Brian Refner, our pole sitter, led the first 3 laps. Then Joe Ruttman led from lap 85 until halfway, and then Skinner took the lead and has had it since. We're now at lap 154, within shouting distance of the finish. It's a much overused statement, but it's true. Catching him is one thing. Passing him could be something totally different yet. Stick around on a comfortable day in Flemington.
I didn't see it.
We've got ourselves a dandy battle for the lead here in Flemington, New Jersey. Mike Bliss has caught Mike Skinner.
43 trucks trying to
Skinner leading in this segment. Took the lead at lap 101. We're now at 164. Listening in to the radio with Barry Dodson, the crew chief, plus the team spotter. Around T.J. Clark they go.
You know, I was watching Skinner's truck. I don't see it doing anything wrong. It just seems that Mike Bliss may be just a little bit quicker out of the corner.
They're riding with Mike Bliss. They're about to put a lap on Refner in 12th spot. Our Busch pole sitter going a lap down. Skinner the leader, Bliss is second, Ron Hornaday is third, Rich Bickle is fourth, Dave Resendiz is fifth, Jack Sprague is sixth, Rick Corelli is seventh, Harry Gant is eighth, John Blewett running well at ninth, Hensley is 10th, and Butch Miller is 11th. Those 11 trucks on the lead lap. We work lap 167. 200 laps makes up the distance.
You can see the racetrack now has shadow in one end and sunshine on the other. That really makes them handle different. You can see right here it's pretty dark going through this area of the racetrack. Now down the back stretch, you'll see it really lighten up as they go down through there. So it makes you have two different styles of handling. You see it glistening there as they go through turn 3.
As far as the points are concerned, Hornaday the leader by 24 over Skinner. Jack Sprague is 52 down. And then the big drop back to Resendiz in 4th. He's 343 points behind. Mike Bliss, with his 2 wins this year, has shown a good bit of improvement as this year has gone along. He is running in the 5th spot in points. The second Ford behind 3 Chevys and Resendiz Ford. .29 laps to go. And this is the story. The battle for the lead. And they're catching traffic now, buddy.
They're going through real heavy traffic right now. This is when you really have to have patience, because it's easy to make a mistake when you come up on heavy traffic. You make a dive in under somebody, they don't see you, cut you off, and you're involved in a wreck. So you really have to be very patient.
Getting around Nathan Butke in the 75. Randy Renfro has just retired his truck for the day. After an accident earlier, handling problems, now putting him behind the wall. Joining Michael Dawkin, Gary Lloyd, and Joe Ruttman.
See Butch Miller going a lap down there, and the way best just 98.
He was 11th spot.
By the way, the pole setter, Brian Refner, went a lap down just a few minutes ago. These front 2 or 3 trucks are really flying around here. It's not any disgrace to get lapped by these trucks the way they're hooked up right now.
Skinner really working traffic well. He's put an extra truck length or 2 on Bliss. There you see the spread now.
Yeah, but every lap you look just in front of them, there's more lap traffic just in front of them, so they really have to be careful.
One truck goes wide. It'll be John Blewett between turn 3 and 4. The local modified ace in the wall, and caution is on the speedway. So caution for the 9th time. There is John Blewett, lap number 176. He is not only the top modified ace here at the Flemington Speedway right now, he is also leading the region in the battle for the NASCAR Winston Racing Series National Championship. John Blewett III has 15 wins already this year here at Flemington. Today, however, will not be the 16th. Restart, lap 179 will be the number coming up on the board. So there'll be 21 laps to go. Mike Skinner, good clean start. Bliss behind him, Hornaday behind him, Bickle clearing traffic in 4th.
Butch Miller held the inside up there just to let these guys go at it. What a great start that was, and that's nice to see somebody that's already a lap down let the front 5 or 6 trucks get by so they can fight it out.
Hornaday trying to rumble there in the 16. Everybody else got by. Resendiz, Sprague, Corelli, all the lead trucks now trying to chase down Skinner. 20 laps to go. Mike Skinner ahead of Bliss. Skinner having won at Tucson. He won in Colorado. He won in Topeka, Kansas. He went flag to flag last weekend at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Even did awfully well on the golf course. There was a Mike Skinner Cedar Ridge RV charity golf tournament in Montague, New Jersey this past week. Very, very well attended. And I am told, buddy, and you've played in a lot of these celebrity golf tournaments and all, they actually gave away the prizes at the hole-in-one hole. You know how they always have these big prizes if you get a hole-in-one on such and such? And a guy did it. And a
Got a hole-in-one?
got a hole-in-one on that big money hole.
They could go ahead and bury me if I ever got a hole-in-one as bad as I play.
But Mike Skinner's tournament with the folks from Cedar Ridge RV Center out of Branchville, New Jersey, a huge, huge success, and charities benefited, and that's what made it extra special.
Eli, this is a tremendous race right here. Corelli now, you see going wide there. I don't know what happened. I think maybe he just got a little bit out of the groove or something happened to his truck, but he was really putting a lot of heat on Jack Sprague, and now he dropped off, but he's back up to speed again.
Lap 185, 15 to go.
Well, if you got anything left, you start pulling it out now. It's time to get after it, because with 15 laps to go, track position means everything, and getting held up in traffic right now, lap traffic's going to have a lot to do with it. You see Dave Rosendi's running well. I think Rich Bickle has a better truck than he showed so far, so I think he's going to try to move in.
That is third and fourth. Hornaday in the 16, Bickle in the 43. Turn number 4. 13 laps to go.
See Bickle running just a little bit lower line there in the 43 truck, trying to get by the 16 of Ron Hornaday, but he just cannot get enough of his truck up there to make a good clean pass, and you know what happens if he gets just a little bit up on the quarter panel.
And there you see 5th, 6th, and 7th spot. Resendiz, Sprague, and Corelli. By my numbers, Skinner's led all but about 18 laps today. Of course, we'll get the official numbers as we wind down, but it's very much in that neighborhood. Ruffner led about 3 laps, and Rutman about 15 laps. There goes Hornaday. That's for 2nd spot.
Whoa, man, he got a little bit loose there. He come very close to wrecking. You see, he loses to
Bickle.
Bickle goes in the corner, slides out. Hornaday makes a move back by him.
And Bickle's not done.
No, here comes Bickle back on the inside. I think he's going to make the move.
Turn 2.
Look at Hornaday fight back, though.
Meanwhile, at the very front, Skinner is now 3 truck lengths ahead of Bliss. You're not missing anything up front. We're watching the battle for 3rd. And these guys are a goodly distance behind 2nd. So this is the battle everybody's watching on the racetrack right now.
They need to settle this pretty quick, because they're losing ground to the leaders as they fight side by side.
Bickle's got him. Rich Bickle up to 3rd. As Hornaday goes to the 4th spot. And you see the laps winding down. That was a good battle. Good, clean racing.
But I think Hornaday realized that he was losing a lot of time to the lead trucks there, and he backed off just a little bit, got back in line, and if they have any chance at all, the only chance they have right now is he tries to get back under Bickle, as I was talking about this.
Heck of a battle right there. Nobody making a move yet. They're just hanging tight. Hey, you got to like Hornaday's efforts for trying. Jack Sprague, his truck almost got away from him.
Yeah, you're picking up the throttle a lot harder now with just a few laps to go. You're not worried about whether the tires get hot or not. You're just trying to make positions.
Now as they work back through the corner. Still looking at the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th position.
You see Harrogate there in the 33's even moved into this battle. All these trucks are fighting it out right here for position. Harrogate's moved right back in on them.
Harry's in 8th in the 33. Jimmy Hensley in 9th spot in the 30. No change in the running order.
Eli, we're showing the race back here in the pack because, quite frankly, Skinner's moved out to about a 4 or 5 truck length lead right now, so the fight is right here. It's not up front.
Yeah, this is Skinner's race right now. Mike Bliss gave it a heck of an effort, but he is falling further behind now as we work lap 197.
See Skinner there, you can see there's nobody right behind him there. Bliss is about 5 or 6 truck lengths back and not really closing the ground on him.
It'll be the white flag next time as we look in on the third place battle. Hornaday trying the power on the outside.
And gonna do it. He's all the way up.
Oh, that's Bob Brevac into the styrofoam.
Hornaday had to check up. I guess the spotter told him there was trouble.
Caution flag is out, but caution only. Remember, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series does not wrap up a race under yellow. There will be a green, a white, and a checker. So as was the case here a year ago, where the 150-lap race went 151 laps, we will have an extended Stevens-Beal 200 and something here today.
Bob Brevac there in the 31, he's had enough styrofoam in that truck today to break an axle. He's been in the wall 2 or 3 times already today.
So lap 199 is when Brevac takes out the styrofoam there in the corner. And again, you will have a green, white, and a checker. And remember last year, same scenario from a season ago when you had Corelli and Hornaday battling for the win. Let's take you back a year ago on TNN Motorsports when Papa John's was the sponsor of Hornaday's truck. Corelli had Total Petroleum on the side of his number 6, and Skinner was right there.
Don't matter there. He's already got the checker
already
flag.
got the checker. That was last year, and we're setting up the same scenario here this afternoon. We have now exceeded the 200-lap distance. It will be the green, the white, and the checker from starter Chris Morgan. Because this series, as is the case with some, or actually many local short tracks across the country, not so many touring series, but many short tracks, you just do not end the event under the caution.
You know, you'd think the leader would have a lot of pressure on him, but all he has to do is do a good start like he does every other time, and it looks pretty good for him.
That's Bob Brevac's truck out of Ashland, Wisconsin, into the wall, bringing out this yellow, and the field gets the 1 to go. So we are 1 lap away from going to a green, then the next lap the white, then the checkered flag to wrap up the Stevens-Beal event. God bless Bob Brevac. He's coming back for more.
That's got to be the toughest truck ever built right there.
Now, last year, the scenario was a little different in that Rick Corelli, who was dominating that afternoon, was really good after 3 and 4 laps. That's where his truck really kicked in. But it was Hornaday who beat him on the restart a year ago. Skinner's been strong on the get-goes here today.
Boy, oh boy, if you was running second, would you try to time the start, or would you just wait until the front truck start? We'll see right now. Here they come.
Mike Simons has the pace truck away. Green from Chris Morgan. Green, white, and checker is what we're looking at. It'll be the white flag when they get back to the line.
Here comes Hornaday on the outside again, trying to get Bickle for third. Hornaday got moved way out. He's losing position after position there.
Now the white flag. This is the final lap.
See, Skinner's holding a good aggressive line going down through there. Mike Bliss is not closing in on him. Hornaday did lose about 3 spots though.
Bickle will hold on to third behind the leaders. Mike Skinner wins. Bliss is second. Bickle third. Resendiz fourth. Fifth is Sprague. 6th place will be a picture between Corelli and Hornaday. Tough to tell, followed by Harry Gant and Jimmy Hensley. Great battle to the finish, but I think deservedly as he dominated much of the day. It is Mike Skinner going to victory lane. We're coming right back. Speedway, time for us to head to victory lane, brought to you by Chevrolet. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet. Randy, look out for the shower.
Oh, we got a bath down here. Now Skinner's bad. He's going to, oh yeah, he's got a bottle. That'll really hurt him. Mike, get over here. Congratulations, your 5th win of the season. You had him covered all day. I know it wasn't easy, but you had a great truck today.
I don't know about having him covered all day. Joe Ruttman, I think, had the truck to beat. You know, that was just such an unfortunate deal right there. I fussed at my spotter. I said, when I cut Jimmy off, I said, man, oh man, I'd never done that, you know. And he said, well, his spotter told him that, you know, he was looking, but he never said you was there on Joe's deal. And on Jimmy's deal, my spotter said he's looking, but he didn't say he was there. And then he said by the time he said inside, we had hit. So just one of them unfortunate deals for Joe, but a good fortunate deal for GM Goodrich Service. And Resist All, Snap-on, AC, Richard Childress. Man, I tell you, this is a tough job, but I love it.
and he should love it. He's doing a great job in this truck. He's on his way possibly to another championship in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Eli.
And Randy, by our numbers, he is now by 1 point the leader in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 1 point over Ron Hornaday. Let's look at how they finished today behind Skinner and Bliss, Bickle, Resendez, Sprague, Hornaday, then Corelli, Harry Gant, a good run, Jimmy Hensley, those trucks all on the lead lap. There you see Butch Miller, and on down the line, Doug George and his backup machine, Nathan Butke, championed around to 19th, and all down through the 40 truck field. There you see some of the other finishers, those who dropped out early. I should say a 30 truck field, not 40, and that is the finishing order here today in Flemington. Buddy Baker, Randy Pemberton, a fine job and quite a battle today. I like to see it, buddy, on these short tracks.
Oh, it's great. I tell you, this is what short track racing is all about. It was a great show, and I'm sure that everybody enjoyed it.
Stick around, folks. Coming up next from here at Flemington, I'll be along with Rick Corelli and Bill Sedgwick. Race Talk comes your way in just about a moment or so the phone lines will be open. Hope you can join us. That's coming up next. For Buddy Baker and Randy Pemberton and the entire TNN Motorsports crew, I'm Eli Gold, congratulating that man, Mike Skinner, winner today in Flemington. So long, everybody.